host and founder of the 757 House Whisperer Show. Thanks for joining us tonight, every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. It has been a exciting couple weeks, both in business and personally. I know you all have missed my pretty face on the radio. Nobody laughs. All right. I was going to say that was kind of funny. So anyway, to some of y'all that know or don't know, me personally, I had just got married. Do you have an applause there? Do you have an applause there? All right. That's it. That's good. So, so that is where I've been the last couple of weeks. Went to St. Martin and married my soulmate, Miss Julie Bartley Worley now. So anybody from Kellam High School might recognize Julie Bartley's name. Anybody from Norfolk Catholic might recognize Chuck Worley. If you don't recognize that and you were there around 1987, I was the guy in the back of the room failing out of class.
Of course
they're like, you have that guy that's the most successful guy in the class. He's going to be this. He's going to be a doctor. Actually, we had a couple of doctors come out of that class. Then you're like the guy most likely not to succeed. There was a picture of me, and but now I run a nice size company, Worley's Home Services. We've got about 75 trucks running or so, all over Hampton Roads from the Virginia line all the way up to New Kent. So we do Worley's Home Services does heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, spray foam insulation, anything to make your house more efficient. That's
Geothermal and wells too now.
Geothermal. We also do. So the most underserved market right now that I didn't even know about until we bought Gildersleeve Geothermal. Some of y'all know Jake, amazing guy, good friend. He's him and Deb are just amazing people. When I grow up, I want to be amazing like them. They're just great people. So them and Rick and Gay Turner. Some of y'all know I bought Rick's Heating and Air back in 2017. And I tell Rick, I said, the only reason that you're so successful is that your wife literally walks on water. Like Gay is anytime I have any issues in my life, I call her to pray for me and everything works out. She is amazing. So we've been very fortunate to have some great friends in our life. But yeah, so celebrating our anniversary, I already went on the honeymoon to St. Martin and rented a nice big house out there. And for a week or so, it was a lot of fun. So I apologize for missing the last 2 weeks, but my team has rallied and taken care of you guys while I was gone. Hopefully you forgive me for getting married. So
no, you did the right thing.
I did the right thing. I did. Anybody that knows Julie Bartley Worley now, anybody that knows her, they're like, I said, do you know Julie? Oh yeah, she's amazing. She's great. I'm like, actually, she's better than that. Like she's better than you actually think she is. She is definitely my soulmate and for the rest of my life. So I'm pretty happy. So, all right. So I'll stop talking about personal stuff, but you get me talking about Julie and I'll just keep going on forever. But this is the 757 House Whisperer Show. We are here for you, the homeowners of the 757 area code, all the way up, some 804 up there in the almost not Richmond, but almost Richmond market. We are here to serve you a public service announcements every single week, helping customers answer questions about their problems with their house. The reason that I came up with this show was I wanted to figure out a way that I could help more than one customer at a time. I've been serving the public since, I was in my 30s, which I won't tell you how long that is, but I will tell you Mike Davenport was longer ago than him.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to call in with any questions about your house, from your roof all the way to your crawl space. I got the pest control of Best Company and Hampton Roads, Miss Cindy, here with me tonight, my co-host tonight. And we are going to co-host, So any questions about anything having to do, most of y'all know I am a building science geek. There is not much about a house that I cannot figure out or figure out. And, but call in tonight. The phone number is 627-7979. Call in 627 7979. The reason we made that number easy is so that you won't forget it. It's really easy. 627-7979. Any questions, any problems, any issues with the house, from moisture to pest control to roofing to siding to gutters to any problems that you're having with your house, we are the team that will be able to help you. We have tens of years. I mean, I don't want to say thousands of years, but we easily got 100. We easily, I mean, you know, we got Mike Davenport, so we can say over 100 because he's been doing it for 52 years. So we're easily, between the other four of us, 3 or 4 of us, we're definitely busting 100.
Probably close to 200.
Yeah,
actually.
I didn't want to say everybody. I didn't want to tell everybody how old you were, Cindy. So
no, it was Mike's age. I don't care. I earned it.
Yeah, in contracting, you have to have a good self-image, or you're not going to make it. So anyway, y'all call in 627-7979. I'm going to introduce while you guys are calling in with any questions, problems, issues with your house. You call us, because houses talk to me, and I will answer your question or have one of my team members take care of your questions. Again, that phone number is 627-7979. Please do not wait to the last 3 minutes of the show. So we're scrambling, trying to get 8 callers in. So I am going to introduce the rest of our team. Is Mike Davenport, CVP, Custom Vinyl Products, Windows and Doors. He just shot into the studio and shot out real quick. He's got to go, got a nice dinner date with his beautiful bride of probably close to 40 years
or more.
Yeah. And I don't know how that's possible, because she's only 39, right? So Miss Vicky,
Rob the cradle.
Miss Albin, I'm just kidding about that. Albin Co. Remodeling homes. I will tell you, he's got a lot more time on his hands than he did a couple weeks ago, because he has finished our remodel at our house. I mean, 1,500 square foot house, moved every wall, spray foamed the whole house. I mean, I can heat my house with a toaster now. I didn't even put ductwork back into my house. I got 5 mini split heads, and
nice.
it's wonderful. So I love it. And then Mr. Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. He is our painting guy of the group. He does kind of sheetrock repairs. Any contractors out there listening, somebody steps through a roof or punches a wall out, or a plumber that, you know, has a water leak or whatever, just call Jack. He will get out there. I mean, he's extremely reasonable. Great kid. We call him the young buck of the group. He's 25, got 7 employees at 25 years old, been in business almost 5 years. He's killing it. At 25, I don't want to even tell you what I was doing at 25, but it wasn't running my own successful business. So we were really
babies.
I mean, you only had 32 of them.
I know, right?
How many did you have?
5.
All right.
Boys.
That's more than a habit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. Miss Cindy, we have a caller, but I want you to introduce the best pest control company in Hampton Roads.
I'm happy to do so. My name is Cindy Raum, owner operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. We've been in business for 15 years. We're a full service termite and moisture company. We serve all the way from Richmond down to the Carolina border, out past Petersburg, past Matthews, past Saluda. So pretty much most areas around here we take care of. We do pest control. We do inspections when people are buying and selling their home. Termite treatments, fungus treatments, powder post bees. If it eats your house, we take care of it. If it's a rodent, we get it. If it creeps or crawls, give me a call, kind of thing. It's kind of like that. So,
but who can we find? We need a woman with some kind of license.
Yeah, the only woman you know with a license to kill.
That's the best tagline ever. Anybody in business, that you have to call in and admit that is the best tagline in business. The
get
only
it every time
woman
I say
know. It's great, man. So I will tell you this: we got Adam coming up in a few minutes with an electrical issue, but we're going to be talking about swarmers. You already saw your first.
'Tis the season.
Swarmers. I mean, it was hot for 14 seconds.
That's all they need. They start to go out and they're trying to find a new place to set up a new home. They're getting out of their colony and they're starting a new one.
So we'll be talking about swarmers. Anybody has any questions about that, call in. And bees.
Carpenter bees.
You said already got Carpenter bees. Yep. Making holes in stuff. So I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I just put siding up. So I covered up all the wood. So I don't have to worry about those wonderful
Didn't take
creatures.
long, man. It does not take long, and they will eat your whole house.
it's just rude.
It is.
It's just rude. They should not do that.
Yeah.
They should not do that.
I got some stuff for him though.
Yes. Again, she's got a license to kill.
Yep.
So, all right. So I'm going to give the phone number out again, 627-7979. Do not forget, you can text a question or leave a voicemail at the 955-9415. It's the 757 House Whisperer show phone, 757-955-9415. You can text anytime, leave a message, right. And or call or text.
Yeah, no question is too trivial. You might think,
Please call in, and I really didn't get into this. One of the reasons that I love the show is that I can answer, like Adam just called in about electric. I'm going to answer his one question. Typically, what happens over the last 25 years, I've been going out helping one customer at a time. Now, Adam's going to have this electrical question that I know hundreds of other people listen. Thousands of listeners, but hundreds of other people have the same question and haven't called in to ask the question. So by me, Adam is actually helping his neighbors and doesn't even realize it.
Yeah.
He's calling in to ask a question about his house, his personal problem. But at the same time, we're going to help him, but we're going to help hundreds of other people with the same issues in their house. Right. So that's why I kind of say public service announcements with helping people fix their houses, all about their houses. So, but we do educate homeowners. I mean, this is the reason for the show. We have people that thank me every week. I'm running into people thanking me for helping people answer questions about their problems in their houses, which that's kind of cool. And I do appreciate you guys doing that. So we had a customer actually today that said something to me. So, all right, let's go to Damien. Let's hit is it Aiden or Adam?
It's Adam. Thank you for taking my call.
Aiden?
Congratulations
or Adam?
on getting married.
Okay, in Virginia Beach.
This is Adam from Virginia Beach. Congratulations on getting married. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
that. Real quick, I have my dining room backs up to the kitchen, and I have 5 outlets in the dining room and 1 outlet in the kitchen it's on the wall that separates the dining room and the kitchen, and they all stopped. They all just stopped at the same time. They were all working fine, and then they just stopped working. I went to the breaker, and the breaker that it's on did not trip. And I turned it off, turned it back on just to test, and I've tested the outlets, and there's no power getting to those outlets. Do I need to replace the circuit in the circuit breaker, or what else should I do to try to diagnose the problem?
All right, so I need you to repeat because I'm sorry we had a technical issue there, so you were breaking up a little bit. I apologize. I need you to repeat the question to me. Sorry, we had a technical issue there.
That happens.
I
apologize.
Repeat it again. It's my fault.
No, it's us.
Yeah. I have a black cloud over technology over my head, so I 100% do not blame you for what just happened. It was me. Go ahead and if you could repeat the question, that would be great.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. In my dining room butts up to my kitchen, and I have 5 outlets and plugs in my dining room, and there's 1 plug that's on the wall that separates the dining room and the kitchen, and they just suddenly stopped working. So I went to the circuit box. The circuit that it's on was not tripped. I turned it off, turned it back on just to check again, and they're still not working. I've tested it with some sort of this power thing I have that you plug in. There's no power getting to those. Does that mean I need to replace the circuit breaker, or is there another way to diagnose this, or what should I
mean,
do?
That's if you wanted to go through the process of elimination, and you're sure all 5 of them do not work.
Yeah, does any of them have?
Yes, sir. I've tested all of them, and all 5 of them do not work. Yes, sir.
Okay, so the kitchen, you said was backed up to the kitchen. Did you bring that up for a reason? Is there anything in the kitchen not working?
There's one. There
was one.
Just the one outlet? Okay, I thought you
kitchen.
said that. Is that the GFI? Is that the GFI circuit in the kitchen?
No, because it's not on the side where the sink is. It's where the it's closer to, it's away from the sink. It's not the GFI. The GFI is by
okay.
the
Okay.
the garbage disposal switch.
I just did that at my own house. I had a thing that it was actually just the GFI had popped. So, okay. So yeah, I mean, as far as the process of elimination without getting an electrician out there to kind of test power, it sounds to me like you have zero power to everything, not just like one, or, one of them went out and it's in a series. They're all wired together and only one of them's not working, something, maybe a wire between. And the reason I'm kind of going into a longer explanation is because there's other people with kind of similar questions. So, so like if you had 3 and the last 2 weren't working, that's telling us we have a break in the wire between the third and the fourth, third and the fourth and fifth unit. So it's not going to be the breaker. The breaker would not be the thing. But if it was me, I would probably think that would be the first thing that I attacked, would be the breaker itself to be replaced.
Okay.
And loose wires, possibly. So and I'm not telling a homeowner, I don't know what your experience is, or what, I'm not telling a homeowner to ever pull a panel off, because it is sketchy.
No.
It's hot. It hurts.
No.
My joke is it only hurt once, so you won't feel it after that.
No,
One way or the other.
Yeah. So, if, I'm coming from the shipyard apprentice school, so I had the big rubber gloves, I had the rubber mat, when I was working on these panels. We don't have, OSHA was all over the shipyard. I remember working on a daggone dry dock on one of those water coolers, and water's like spraying on top of me, hitting the side of the dry dock, and I'm working with electricity. That's always fun. But just be careful if you do decide to do that. Again, I'm not encouraging that, but if you do decide to do that, that would be the first thing that I looked at, would be the replacing the breaker. Honestly, I'd probably look for loose connections first before I went to go buy a breaker.
And where would I be looking for those loose connections at?
On the
around
breaker,
the outlets, or
on the breaker itself, I would think. If you're not, I mean, I know you use the electrical thing, so the plug-in, which is a cheater, which is great. I mean, to stop that thing has probably saved thousands of lives. But it could be that you got power there and you don't have both wires touching that first receptacle, which would of course knock out every other receptacle. So but
I see what you mean.
To me, I would think it would be at the breaker, but it could be the wire got cut underneath,
something chewed it.
Yeah, were we not just talking about that? Cindy was just talking about our pest control specialist. She had just talked about rats and mice are everywhere right now. She goes, I don't know, just from the cold weather, just whatever, but they are everywhere. So, I mean, I've seen dead rats attached to wire because the saliva, when they're biting through it, they're trying to get to the heat inside. They sense heat, right?
Yes.
So electricity's hot. So when they're chewing to get to the heat and their saliva,
your cars and everything.
It's only going to hurt once. Remember the rule, right? So I know I was working in a 2-story building right next to the shipyard. It's like 56th Street. It's a good friend of mine. She owned a couple buildings. Her husband had passed away, and she had all these buildings she was managing, and didn't know who to call. So we go out there and we are spray foaming and insulating the attic. So we sucked all this insulation out. I'm not kidding you. I found 5 dead rats when we sucked out the insulation out of this house, all laying next to chewed wire.
Yep.
So I don't know if they got electrocuted, if they just died, got hit, knocked out, and died. But there was 5 dead bodies next to wire in 5 different places.
If you don't want to kill them like that, I had a job once, and it'll be somebody I'll tell you later. But I went in and baited for those rats. And the first time I went back to check on them, I had 12 dead ones, full size dead ones in her crawl space.
Oof. Yeah, that's
so I can do better than electricity
if
you want to get rid
of it. But no,
them.
I want to thank you, Adam, for calling in and asking that question, because I promise you're not the only one with that issue. If Worley's can never do anything for you, please don't feel free to give us a call. we'd love to help you. But it sounds like you got a handle. But if you need us, definitely give us a holler. So, and anybody else out there who doesn't have Adam's experience in electricity, definitely can call us. We got, I don't know, 10 different electricians that can come out to serve you. Again, we go from the Virginia line all the way, Pat, to, I say Lenexa. What's further, Lenexa or Towano?
Towano.
You think? I think Lenexa is past that. All right. We'll have to maybe have a customer call in and tell us. But all I tell people is we're not going to Richmond.
Why are you not? I'm going to talk to you about that.
It's just too far.
I'm going to talk to you about that.
I like being able to service a customer within hours and get to them. And
so you have multiple customers and you serve all of them.
That is true. That is true. That is true. Everybody keeps trying to get me to expand up there. We're doing enough expansion here in Hampton Roads. And some of you guys know this. I've gotten calls and texts from customers and stuff congratulating us. In the last 90 days, we have bought C.L. Carter, who was 88 years old. If any of his customers are listening, that man is a hero of the air conditioning business. He invented air conditioning like that in Hampton Roads. Him and Rick and Gay Turner, like just what a great man. And Miss Ellen, she is a pistol. She is awesome. She has run that business like top to bottom. That was a very well run machine. And at 88, he slipped and fell and broke his neck. And he decided that, okay, it's time to exit. So, and then Gildersleeve Geothermal and DT Electric about a month ago. So, all right, we got a break. Please call in 627-7979. Dunn bringing us in hot. This is with that music shredding guitar of his. Hey, this is Chuck Worley with 757 House Whisperer Show. We thank you guys for listening in every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. We are here to educate you and help you to understand your house, fix your house with any problems. Houses Talk to Me. Please call in, we will answer any questions from pest control to crawl space to attics to roofs to any kind of insulation, spray foam. We just had a great electrical call. Cindy's got a dialogue of swarming stuff that has come into Hampton Roads this week. So we definitely want to have her talk about what's coming up. Anybody's got any swarmer stories yet? I know she's already got one. So again, this is Chuck Worley with 757 House Whisperer. I own Worley's Home Services. We do heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, ductwork. Did I say crawl space encapsulations and spray foam insulation? All right. So we do all of that. We have got geothermal, wells and pumps. And
you need to,
I started to tell you earlier that wells and pumps are the most underserved market in this area.
Absolutely.
You call a well and pump guy, he's going to say he's normally about 78. And he's going to say, hey, look, I'll be there next month. I promise. And that's it.
That's it.
You call in, we book a time, we will be there. And then, normally within the week. So normally a couple of days, but we have a great wells and pump service division. It is probably going to be one of our faster expanding.
You should really put that out there because somebody's always looking for that.
Everybody. And the problem is the average age, nobody's getting into wells and pumps. No one's getting into geothermal. No one's getting into well drilling. It's kind of like the oil business or the oil furnace business, but we love that business and we will book a time. We will have a service tech out there. He will give you a price right there on the spot to fix it, replace it, repair it, whatever done. And he'll be back in a day or two. And we will drill a new one too. So it is. I mean, I got some funny well drilling stories. I mean, I had a customer call me, and it was actually a friend of mine's customer. He does irrigation stuff, and they wanted wells for his irrigation, right? Yeah, I love some Bert. At Hampton Roads Irrigation. He's a super, super nice guy. So I've been friends for a long time. He's in my C12 group, Christian CEO group. Fantastic guy, right? So he calls up and he's like, man, this customer had somebody come out and said, hey, it's going to be 10 grand for that well. I'll be here before December. This is like September. He said, I'll be here before December, and I need you to go down to the city and pull the permit. And she goes, oh, by the way, we're going to destroy your front yard, and we're not fixing it. It's like, what in the heck? And what in the world? And that's it. That's your choices when it comes to wells. So anyway, that is obviously why we are getting into that business. So
put that out there more honestly.
I know we should. It's we do so many things, right?
I know
so, but yeah, geothermal wells, pumps, wells and pumps, fixing them and all that. So 627-7979. While I'm introducing everybody from the show, I want you guys to call in any questions that you have about problems with your houses, problems with anything going on in your house. We got Mike Davenport with CVP Custom Final Products, windows and doors. We got Albin with Albin Co., remodeling homes, kitchens, bathrooms, all that stuff. And then, of course, the man, Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. And who else?
Well, last but certainly not least, the only woman on this show.
It is. Somebody's
brave enough to get out here with you guys.
I mean, that
right?
is true.
Right.
That's true. You're brave enough to get underneath a house.
That's right.
You're brave enough to get on
you're absolutely
team
right.
of contractors.
Right.
Which is impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm Cindy Rao, owner operator of Alpha Pest Solutions, a full service termite and moisture company. We've been in business for 15 years, family owned and operated. And we serve up past Richmond. We go to Richmond. Up past Richmond. We go out past Petersburg. We'll go up past Matthews, past Saluda, down to the Carolina border. So pretty much if you're within listening distance, I can get to you. So, yeah, I do a lot of driving. So,
since we're on pest control, let's talk about swarmers.
Swarmers. So 'tis the season. As soon as it gets a little bit warm and maybe it's a little bit damp out there and then it gets warm, like we've had a couple of days these past few days, and we had a day or two last week too, we start getting the calls with swarmers. And so if you don't know what a swarmer is, so that'd be a termite. But there are also swarmers that are flying ants. So you may have one or the other. Termites, the wings will be the same length. You'll have two sets of wings. They'll be the same length. The flying ants there'll be two sets, but they'll be two different sizes. So if you see them at your home, one thing that I will do, get a plastic baggie, man, and put them in there, and I'll come by and identify them for you. There's no charge for me to do that. I'll just swing by. If it's Newport News, next time I'm in Newport News, I'll swing by and take a look. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, wherever. I'm just about in every city, just about once or twice a week around here, all of them once or twice a week. So happy to come by and identify. And by the way, don't think just because you're in a new home, you might not have swarmers. You're more likely to have them because of the way they treat now when they're doing new construction. So if you see something you're not sure, you see, all these, things flying around, usually you'll see them in windowsills, around doorways, that kind of thing, and get a sample of them and give me a call. Like I said, there's no charge for me to come by and take a look and let you know what you got going on. But we also have Carpenter bees. I've had 2 calls about that so far already. And it's a little bit early for those, but when it starts, then it's not going to stop. So, and of course, those will get into your soffits, your fascia board, your brick mold around garage doors and windows and stuff like that, and they will eat your house up. Fences, they like privacy fences, wooden fences, and stuff like that. Even your mailboxes, if you've got it on a wooden post, they'll eat that too. They'll eat everything. So there is a way to get rid of them, but just give us a call. We're happy to come take a look. Again, that inspection is free too.
It sounds like you got this pest control thing figured out.
I do. Yes. In fact, I've got, I tell people, I've got roaches. Oh, I got crack for that. I got ants. I got crack for that too. So one thing that I really do, I can really take care of them. But one thing as a female in a male-dominated business, I have to make it my business to know more than the men do. Because if not, that gets thrown in my face. And so I make that my mission is to know more than the guys do out there. So there's not anything, I don't get callbacks on anything. If I come out and I'm going to take care of ants at your house, I promise you won't need me again. One and done. Roaches too. I do restaurants. One and done.
That's impressive. I think if people knew what was going on with roaches in restaurants, I don't know that we would ever eat out again.
You wouldn't, but you would eat the ones that I service. I promise you. So if you want to know which one those are, just give us a text message in here, and I'll text you back and let you know which ones I take care of.
So what do you think the reason the rats and mice are so rampant?
So so last summer, so they became kind of abundant last summer when it got so hot. We had so much warm weather. Remember when it was super hot last year? And so a lot of them started coming indoors earlier. So you usually just see them like when it gets cold, but they were coming in with the heat last year. And so they reproduce so quickly. And so if you're seeing these things going on in your home, droppings and something looking chewed and stuff like that, if you don't get on it right away, it's not long before you could have a whole rat colony at your house.
What's the most rats you've seen in one house?
So, I mean, I went back after a service one time and got the 12, but I did do a house in Suffolk or Portsmouth, and they had all kinds of rats inside the house. Had been on the Parade of Homes house.
Ooh.
Really nice house.
So hold on. So you're telling me that a big, beautiful, multi-million-dollar house, over $1 million house, rats will still go there?
Yes, I was asked that once in a very prestigious neighborhood. What do you mean we have them here? This is where I live. I said, they don't care where you live.
Yeah, they don't care how much you paid for the house. They're yeah.
So I get up underneath this house, and this house is just a few years old. And there are, it looks like somebody has got like they're scraping sand dunes in this whole crawl space. I'm like, what the heck? Well, what was it? It was colonies. Yeah, it was colonies. It was a whole colony. So there were tunnels and everything throughout this whole crawl space. So we went in there, and
which is really eerie when you're crawling through, because I'm a big guy, right? And you're it's literally collapsing. When you're, when you're going, it's kind of eerie that when you're crawling when you're crawling through and sinking.
Or how about this? We pulled the insulation out of the house because it was so saturated with urine and feces that when we're pulling the insulation out, rats are falling down on us. Yeah, so I've seen that. I did get rid of all the rats, in that one, but it does not take long.
Start out with a 22. Start picking them.
They generally just, I'm like anti-Pied Piper, so I get into a crawl space and they all go in the opposite direction. Oh Lord, here she comes. She's going to get us this stuff. Yes, she will. So they usually go in the opposite direction. I get in there and it gets real scarce.
I don't know why Robin Williams, came to mind about napalm in the air.
Yeah.
It's Cindy goes in. They're gone.
Look, I've even gone into a crawl space before and had a snake raise itself up, look at me, and make a beeline to get out of that crawl space because I'm coming.
Wow. That's,
they just, I don't know.
Yeah. I used to have a friend of mine was a plumber before I got into the plumbing business. I was doing some duct work or whatever. And I said, "You're going to go underneath the house?" He goes, "I don't go under houses." I said, "Aren't you a plumber?" He goes, "I mean, if I go under, I'm going under loaded." I said, what do you mean loaded? He's like, "Oh, I got me a pea shooter with some snake bite in it." I said, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, he had a little, like one of those Dillinger guns, like not a Dillinger, but he like the Dillinger gun that hooked up. Like he had that like little pistol thing full of snake shot. And I guess it's just sand.
Yes.
I'm not sure what not a big gun guy. I believe you should have guns, but I just don't have any. So, but anyway, my dad has enough for all of us. So, but anyway, he went underneath the house and was like, "I'm never going underneath the house unless I'm locked and loaded." I was like, "Okay." I mean, that's, you're bigger than the snake. He goes, "I know, but that snake's going to bleed before I do." I said, "Okay,
it's not after you. I promise
was just like a plumber not going under a house.
I promise you that a snake is way more afraid of you than you are of it. Yeah, there are some that are somewhat aggressive.
I don't know how that's possible. I just don't know how that's possible, but I understand it is the facts.
There are some that are aggressive, and there's a tool for that, and it's called a shovel.
What is a friend of mine said? I've never ran it. There's only two snakes that you run into. That's a poisonous one and a dead one.
Venomous.
We don't say it. Yeah. What'd I say?
poisonous.
Yeah,
we do not refer to them as poisonous. They're venomous.
All right. So he said a venomous or a dead snake. And he said, it's funny. It's really coincidental, but I've never run into the first one. Because he killed all of them. I'm like, that is rude. He goes, no, I'm just telling you, I'm not taking any chances.
Yeah.
People are like, check out the shape of his head. He's like, no.
You get down there and let me make sure it's
close enough to see it's a diamond shaped head. He's got me. I don't got him.
Well, so. around here, what's venomous around here? We do have copperheads, and they're bad news. We have water moccasins or cottonmouths, whatever. Yep. And then we also have rattlesnake.
We do. And what city is it most popular?
Probably Newport News. No? Chesapeake.
Chesapeake.
Okay.
And how I know that is I had a customer in Hickory,
yeah.
A couple acres.
Yeah.
And he has them like hanging, like these snakes hanging in his open garage.
Yeah.
And
so you know what he needs,
right? What are you doing here? He goes, dude, we have stuff. Well, we had already been working under the house. I'm like, you could have warned us. He's like, well, you didn't see the snakes hanging. I'm like, no, I wasn't looking for snakes hanging.
Like,
but he did. He said, and they're all rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
They're cotton snake?
No, they're timber rattlesnakes.
Timber rattlesnakes, yeah.
So that's why it's good to have black snakes around, because snakes
they eat
the venomous snake,
which is
great. Along with
don't kill
your rats
snake.
And mice. So if
right.
if you're seeing snakes around your house, here's a couple of reasons why. Number one,
eating.
You're right. They're eating. They have a food supply, which means you probably have mice or rats.
So I had a friend of mine
or harboring place. Piles of junk, piles of wood. Yeah, harboring places.
I had a guy tell me, he's like, look, I'm telling you, I don't have rats. Like I'm telling you, my next door neighbor has rats. I'm telling you, I do not have rats. We put all his insulation out of the house. We're encapsulating this crawl space. And we come out, we had 9 snake skins.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? You're right. You didn't have any rats under there because they had 9 snakes under your house. So thank God only one of them was alive. Most of them were just skins. So, but yeah, you have to. Black snakes are important to our keeping the the bad stuff.
Well,
down.
God is very, very perfect in what He did. It's all part of the food chain, and when we get to messing around with some of that, it has consequences.
I'm not sure you poison a rat. Snake eats a rat.
So that's what they say, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I have not seen it. And
you would find it with the rat not disposed of.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I do have one of my little dogs that she'll bring in a mouse or a vole or a mole every night. She brings one in.
Can I borrow her?
You can.
Okay.
Her name's Gracie.
I showed her. She mean as a rattlesnake.
Yeah, she's super sweet. You'd love her to pieces, and you would never want to let her go.
I just want to put a little fence out there, and just because we have moles and bowls,
she would handle that for you.
Really?
Happily. Oh yes, she's fast.
You need to rent her. You need to rent her out.
If I took her over to your house, Julie would never let her go. I promise you. That's how sweet she was.
Yes, so she's not coming over ever. It's not going to happen. So, all right, we're coming up on the end of the hour. 627-7979. If you want to slip a call in real quick. We've got about a couple minutes left. I did want to talk about this weather. Now that we're having these, and I say it every year, I talk about it during the winter time, before the winter time comes on, even though my commercial ran a little bit long this year. Me and Damien didn't get it off the air fast enough. I'm going to blame Damien, but it was probably my fault. So, because it's supposed to be my voice, not his voice on the commercials. So, but Bump Your Heat went a little long this year. I apologize about that, but I'm just can I just use, hey, I was getting married this year. That was my excuse.
You had a lot going on. Honestly, you did have a lot going on.
I mean, I had a speaking thing down in Orlando. I spoke in North Carolina to a local HVAC contractor thing. It was pretty flattering that they asked me to go and speak. So I got busy. I got married. I got all this stuff. My son got married.
There's a lot happening.
We had all these acquisitions. It's been a very, very, very busy year. But I want to talk about when we do have our next kind of hot day. Do not be afraid to turn on your air conditioner. I got some people going out there like this. Yeah, you're right about that. I'm turning my AC on the minute it's 60 degrees outside or 65 degrees outside. But some of us, like during the heating season, we refuse to turn the heat on until it's like 14. right?
So that's me.
It's, it's like, nope, it's not January 4th. I'm not turning my heat on.
Yep.
I've already had my heat on for 3 months by that point. But I like, in my older age, I like to be comfortable. So I don't, spending $4 in gas or electricity doesn't bother me as much now.
Well, if it was only $4.
Yeah, exactly. I will tell you, my gas bill has dropped a tremendous amount. So people ask, how much does it cost, or is a gas tankless water heater cheaper to operate than a tank water heater? I promise you it is. My gas bill is less than $30 a month. It's like $25 a month. All I have is a gas stove, gas tankless. I got a grill outside on my deck and a gas dryer. And my gas bill is like $25 a month.
You maybe need to come look at my house.
I went to the mini splits, as I told you guys. So my electric bill has not gone up that much. It's really negligible. I'd say that word. It's more than 3 syllables. Mm-hmm. So negligible, right? So I can't believe I got that out. It's negligible. So all right. Looks like we got a caller. Let's try and slip him in. How much time we got, Damien? About 3 minutes. All right. Let's go to Virginia Beach. Mr. Don.
How are you tonight?
I am well.
Good. I may have a couple of answers for that gentleman that called in about his electrical outlets.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all already brought up the GFI situation. Now, it's the way you find out where the breaker's working is take a meter, a voltmeter, and check to see on the edge of the breaker. Where the wire goes into the breaker. Put the red on the voltmeter on that, and then one on the ground or the neutral bar in the panel, and that way you tell whether the breaker's working or not. But it's not advisable for someone that's not an electrician to go into.
That's what I feared. Yeah, I feared. Like I am with you. But I fear saying that and then me getting a call from an attorney 2 weeks from now, and says, well, Chuck told me to touch the panel. No, let's go back to the recording. Chuck said, don't touch the panel. So, yes, I agree with you. If he does have a voltmeter, that is definitely the way to do it. But if you do not have electrical experience, and I don't even like telling homeowners to touch the panel. Here's something that you'll probably agree with is when we, do new panels, we have to leave the panel off for the for the inspector to come back the next day to do it. It drives me insane. It makes me nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I'm like, so you want me to leave this panel off? I know it's out in the garage, but some kid, it just makes me nervous when they make us leave the panels off for inspections in the cities. But all right, looks like we're counting down. I'm getting to 9, 3, 8, 7, 6, 5. So, hey, thank you guys for calling in the 757 House Whisperers Show. We will see you next week.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.